back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are in the world, welcome. We are live in Las Vegas. Look behind you, 60,000 of our closest friends out here. Live Las Vegas at AWS reInvent 2024. And we're at the expo floor doing the first ever Industries Live broadcast. And we're so happy to have you with you. I am one of our co-hosts, Chris Niederman. I am the head of the AWS Industries and Solutions team in the partner organization, and joined with...
I'm Addy Dubhashi. I am the Financial Services Industry Solutions lead, working across our partners, our technology and consulting partners. I've been with AWS for 6.5 years, and I absolutely enjoy building those solutions and going to market with our partners. And with that, Daniel, I'll pass it to you.
Hi, everyone. Daniel Marashlian here. Again, thank you for having me. Co-founder and CTO at Drata.
Fantastic. Addy, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things you're going to see through these sessions is we're going to talk about how our partners are really helping line of business owners see value in financial services. This is about helping our customers combine our capabilities to solve real business challenges. So one of the fantastic examples we have today is with the Drata team. And Drata is so fascinating because of what they have, record unicorn status, have been at the forefront of compliance.
Unicorn. I want to hear more about that.
Exactly. Sure. So Daniel, I would love to know, how did y'all kind of get here, the journey you've taken, and what's the year been like, some of the macro trends you've been seeing in financial services and compliance?
Yeah, of course. Real quick kickoff for what Drata is we help businesses automate their security compliance program. And you might say, well, what does that mean? How do you do that? It's around the automatic evidence collection, the continuous version, side of that. And what happens is, companies are now using AWS and GitHub and go name your tool, 200 plus other tools that you operate your business on. And we're able to go out and collect evidence from those, understand how businesses are using these tools, and keeping the guardrails on your compliance program. So rather than someone doing it once a year, maybe once a quarter at best, we're all humans, we're busy, you don't really do it every day, but the machines can do it every day. So we keep ensuring that you're staying compliant throughout the process.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and a little bit of the founding story, I guess.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so we... myself, longtime entrepreneur. This is actually my 8th company I've started. Some have failed fast, some went to success and sold or whatnot. But in that journey, it was always you would get hit with the compliance hammer, is what I call it.
Yeah.
Go name your acronym. We had to do something in there. And what I realized, it was always it would slow deal flow down and output, but when we actually went and achieved a SOC 2 report, or we were GDPR compliant, etc., it would accelerate deal flow. And also at the same time, it would, make the business better. You'd run a well-oiled machine. So as we went through that a few times, it was like, wait a second, AWS has all these APIs. Wait a second, GitHub has all these APIs. I think I can start automating some of this stuff. The engineer brain turned on to me again. So that's what Drata is. We really sought out to make boring shit easy. This stuff no one wants to do, that messy middle of compliance. Yeah. It's not fun. Everyone knows that. I'll be the first to admit. And that's what we sought out to do, is go automate that.
That's fantastic. Are you seeing differences? Are you global in nature? Are you seeing differences by country? What are you seeing around the world?
Yeah, we're approaching 6,000 customers. We'll probably cross it here after the show, but no, globally.
Let's hope you might hit 10,000.
Hey, there you go. There you go. No, we're global. Probably 30% international, 70 stateside. And I think the SOC 2 process program from the AICPA, ISO 27001, those are probably the industry-leading security programs. But then you have the privacy programs kind of out of Europe. GDPR came out, but now you're also starting to see other regulations out of Europe and Australia, even in Japan. And so really understanding the local needs of the local governments and helping businesses adhere to them simply.
So important.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the main conversations that do come up is we're seeing customers in financial services accelerate to the cloud, but you can very much expect the CISO and this part of the organization get very curious, but cautiously curious about what's possible. So what's that conversation like for you? What's the C-suite conversation that kind of helps them get confidence on keeping control while they're kind of rapidly transforming to the cloud?
Yeah, I would say on the C-suite, right, everyone thinks about compliance or GRC, their first brain goes to like engineering, infrastructure, how's our database, et cetera, et cetera. And while true, but it's kind of maybe 40-ish% of the process, you have to remember there's people in the businesses, devices, assets, everything in between, how you run your business. So in the C of GRC, governance, risk, and compliance, right, we really sought out to automate that, as we talked about. But then there's also a big R in the midst, which is risk. And I think everything really starts with risk. And so whether you're a C-suite, whether you're in the finance side or customer side or engineering side, it's about what's the risk to my org? And how do we assess that and be real about it. Everyone does have risk. Yeah. So by identifying the risk, whether it's internal or external with your third parties, understanding a program around that, and then the compliance process is a way to put guardrails around that and eventually help burn down that risk. So, whether you're a CFO, it's, there's probably going to be strong risks on how you're hiring, the sales process, the COGS and margin to your business, and then working with the respective units to make sure that they're understanding the risks to their own, parts of the program.
You've got your persona-based hot buttons, CFO or line of business executive in any form.
Yeah, and again, like people really think, oh, that's the CTO's problem or the CISO's problem, and maybe they're the operators, but really it's the whole business needs to be paying attention.
And that's so unique because I started my career years ago when I was in a Big Four consulting firm, and I remember doing these processes completely manually.
Yep.
I mean, we would literally have screen grabs and notes and check it out and say, all right, I think I have a view of this, and we did not have a whole picture. So automation and just that 24/7 ability to capture that picture is so important for institutions. Tell me more about the automation side. I think that's the fascinating aspect. That's where the industry is changing.
Absolutely. Like we said, Addy said, it's people have checklists, and you go through the process, and you have meetings and screenshots and tickets, and you do it once a quarter at best. And while great, it's better than nothing. It's really these 4 snapshots in time. But you have a program that you're saying, this is how I operate my business. You don't operate your business in 4 windows of time in a year. It's every single day and every single moment. And so, using cloud services, it's allowing to scale at a cheaper cost to be able to do this stuff compared to years and years ago. So we're able to let's see, easy example here for everyone to maybe understand it. AWS, there's a service called RDS for databases. And we're able to go ask with a very limited role set, the security audit role, and say, hey, AWS, tell me about all the databases in this account, right? And not so much the data within, but the configuration. So looking at encryption, network settings, access, things like that. And say, hey, you know what? Developer spun up this database, they were doing something, and they forgot about the ingress and egress rules, or whatever it may be. And it's like, yeah, you don't want that publicly available on the internet. Hey, something's going on here, I'm going to record it, go fix it. So that's one side of it. The other side would be more around the security assurance side. So all the hard work everyone is doing to get SOC 2 compliant and ISO cert and GDPR, and go name your acronym, I want to showcase that, and I want to make it easy. So there's a thing called a trust center that we've been working on and building out, and it's a publicly available website for all your prospects and partners to come and kind of get it themselves, self-service. So around the automation of that, because I'm sure every CISO and legal individual watching, they probably sign these NDAs almost every week to say, okay, here's the NDA, okay, here's our SOC 2 report, you can review it. Do that 50 times a week or a month or whatnot, and let's just automate all that. Let's continue to find every single part in the whole process where humans are doing something, and how can you automate it? So I view it as an asymptote, right? I'll put my math hat back on. I view Drata as a big asymptote, and how close can I get to the line of full human automation of this whole process? Probably never get there, just like an asymptote, but I'm going to try to get as close to the line as possible.
Yes. Go ahead, sorry, Chris.
Yeah, so you talked about the personas within the company, and I like that, the way you described it. Enterprise customers, mid-market, what's your target audience? What's your target customer? Do you have a preference, or is it just like, we'll just go anywhere?
It's interesting. A lot of, I would say, marketing has a hard job at our company, because it is almost anyone. It's anyone storing data in the cloud, which nowadays is nearly every business. But we do have our verticals. It's a lot of SaaS, security. We're even finding entertainment starting to be a big one, which is fun. You always see like
should have had you there this morning.
Yeah,
we were talking all over
we have some of the NFL teams and things like that. So those are fun. But I think the idea for us is we have a big base of the SMBs because what's happened is they're trying to sell to, say, the Bank of Americas or something of the world, and they're getting hit with that compliance hammer I brought up. So their CROs or whatnot are going to the CTOs and saying, I need this report tomorrow. So we go help them shepherd that process that they've never gone before. That's a big chunk of our business as well. Yeah. But then as we've been growing, we're about 4 years old now, and over the past couple years, we've been moving more and more up market, and it's been fun to see the average customer size grow and grow every month. So now we're really what I would call the mid-market at like kind of large cap. Those like 500 to 5,000 type person companies is where we're going. We definitely have some of the Fortune 500, but we're really trying to nail that mid-market where teams need to do more with less. Instead of having a big 50-person compliance GRC team, they maybe have 2 or 3 people. So how can we give them tools to automate
it's really
their
interesting.
job?
I hadn't thought about the smaller companies trying to sell to bigger companies, and the burden that a bigger company can put on a small company, just consume them. Yeah. If you can make that easier for them, make the boring shit easy, I guess, right? We get T-shirts made with that saying.
There you go.
Then that's going to increase their probability of selling and engaging with these big companies who can just consume them and all their time and resources.
And when we think about the sectors, right, like financial institutions have regulators who are watching them. And what they're asking them is, look, are you on top of this? Are you keeping controls? And so when these financial institutions are looking to the mid-sized firms supporting them, their speed of innovation needs to be fast, but it cannot be fast unless they're compliant. And so when you've kind of democratized access, you've really helped them kind of help support these institutions move faster and kind of help them keep regulation as well. So it's a fascinating space, but it democratizes control and allowing that innovation for the larger institutions as well.
I love that word, democratize. We even have one of the engineering groups is called the Democratize Group for that. So all the product lines that help democratize compliance, that's what they focus on.
Fascinating. Yeah. What's coming up? Because this is such an evolving space. Automation will continue to rise. How does Gen AI kind of all fit in here? Is it an enabler? Does hallucinations impact you in these scenarios?
Yeah.
What's that picture look like?
Yeah, with the new wave of Gen AI coming out, it's actually a perfect fit for what we do in GRC, which is great timing for us and the customers of our product. If you roll back maybe a decade or so ago, the big scale teams that were doing AI, machine learning, right, are the big advertising groups, Google, Facebook, etc. And those classifiers, it's like, okay, show this ad or not, or how's this person get classified? In the world of GRC, it's all language. It's giant policy documents and control language and security questionnaires, and so that ability to process the text, get context, and statistically understand what's the next outcome, right? That's what LLMs are and Gen AI is. So it's been a perfect fit to us. So what we've been doing is finding, again, back to the point of where are people doing things manual, and sprinkling those workflows to make their life easier. If you're doing a third-party risk assessment and you have 400 vendors, you have to go reach out to those 400 vendors every year, review their process. That's a lot of time and effort. We can run models on that, summarize their SOC 2 reports, and within a 2-minute window now, I can understand as a human, hey, where's the risk? Do I need to go talk to them about this or record it in my risk process or whatnot? So those are one examples. The other one is around security questionnaire automation. Let's be real, sure, we all don't like them and we all want them to go away, but they're going to be here. So I'm sure a lot of you have gotten these 500 questionnaires coming in, and you got to fill them out to close the deal. Yeah. Well, run them through a process. We can infer, we get all the data from the inside out, right? We're connected to AWS and GitHub and Google and Okta and everything. And so we're able to understand how you run your program to better answer those. And so what might take 4 to sometimes 24 hours, maybe now it just takes a 15-minute review and check the box and go.
Interesting. And this is, so Daniel, you've done this a few times. You said you've kind of created firms, built them, gone to market. How do you think about your partner community? How do you partner? Do you work with consulting firms? Do you work with ISVs? How does that all join up in your view?
Yeah, yes, yes, and yes is the answer. I remember when we were interviewing, actually, our SVP of Business Development, Kevin Kriebel, and he came in and he was like, okay, what are you going to do for this business? How are you thinking about partnership? And he said, I'll tell you, it's AWS, and it's AWS. And it was like, all right, well, tell me more. Like, why? Why do you think about that? And I think the partnership with AWS has just been instrumental to our success from every facet, from the partner side, customers, referrals, everything, marketplace. So that's been a big piece, and what we notice is going into this space, there's competitors, there's also incumbents, and no one was really hitting the partner side of it. So what we decided is overinvest a little bit in there, in relationships and process, and it's worked out very well for us.
That's awesome. I think this is something that I think, Chris, our teams really help with as well. We really are at the heart of allowing our partner communities to come together. So something we want to encourage is, Drata has specializations. For financial services, we have the financial services competency and specialization. And something that our partners get to do is gain the benefits of engaging and interacting with that entire community in one place. So whether you want to work with a niche SI that kind of extends your reach in another geography, or a large consulting firm who's at the strategy side and enabling a CISO to kind of think through the whole thing, we're happy to kind of bring that community, enabling you to accelerate.
And of the tens of thousands of people watching this right now, what if they want to do business with you? What if they want to partner with you? What would you tell them? Like, what are you looking for in a partner? What should they be thinking about going, I'm a great fit for Drata because of what?
Yeah, I would say two sides. One is for your own company. Everyone is doing a security program, right? You should be at least. And so Drata.com, that's easy to find us. We have an amazing staff to take care of you and shepherd you through the process, understand your problems, how we can solve it. From the partner side, especially like the MSSPs out there and ISVs and everyone, is we work with you too on that side. There's a separate unit and process to say, hey, I'm a MSSP and I have 300 clients or 3,000 clients. I need to go help them. I need to help myself. And sometimes we can reduce that burden, for them by 30, 50%. Imagine the, the ROI there and the margins that they can save.
So call Drata.com, hit it, or just email you. Call,
easy to find.
Easy to find.
Daniel at Drata.com.
So I got one more time for one more question, and then we're going to have you close this up here, bring us home. But this is a big event.
Yeah.
And this is your first time or no?
No, I've been here 4 times now.
4 times.
Awesome.
Okay. Wow.
I'm a vet.
So you are a vet. What's the coolest thing you've seen or heard or announcement all week?
Yeah, I would say, I forget the name of it, but it's on the S3 side, actually. Okay. It's really exciting. Being able to stream data in, and instead of having, aggregated data in a warehouse, like the amazing tools like Databricks or Snowflake, and having engineers and analysts write queries against it, we're going to be able to do that in S3 now. So kind of reduce the footprint of, your warehouse, and but still be able to kind of aggregate on the engineering side, analytics around how the product usage is or whatnot in S3 is super exciting.
I love it. That's awesome.
It's such an evolving space. Like the whole data modernization journey is just transformative. And our customers are constantly looking for support. They're looking for how does the S3 join up with the warehousing partner, the compliance partner kind of brings it all together. And I think that multi-party play is, I think, what they're looking for.
It's big time. So anyway. Bring us home. We got a minute left here. So.
Yeah, so we're really keen to kind of do more of these, right? We want to get our partners together, and each week, every other week on Tuesdays, we're going to do our 8 a.m. PST session. So please tune in to Industries Live as part of the Partner Live series, and we're going to keep getting you our partners and our multi-party plays to support. Daniel, any closing comments on your part?
Oh man, let's see. I would just say we're here for you, whether small or big. We serve them all, and we really, like I said in the beginning, we make boring shit easy.
We make boring shit easy,
For our mutual customers, which is really the outcomes we want to drive with them.
Absolutely.
And then, folks, stay tuned, because up next, we got Michael Down from Neo4j. You're not going to want to miss that one.
Fascinating story with them.
Yeah. Thanks, folks.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.